Hey guys, so this video is for Asana, specifically for us, for ourselves, and I thought it would be a useful add-on to the other 25-minute or so video that you watched. So as we all have a good idea at this stage, Asana is obviously essentially a online to-do list, and it allows for ourselves, and it also allows other people to add to-do items for ourselves, and you can add to-do items for other people. As well as that, for older regional managers, it's going to become our new place for collaboration for emails and for Skype, so that there won't be as many Skype messages going back and forth, and there won't be as many emails going back and forth, as we're going to be talking specifically about individual tasks through Asana, through comments, and we'll cover that in a few minutes. The last thing, which I think is also very useful for Asana, is that it gives you a very strong idea of your overall deliverability and your overall attitude towards documenting as well, so that at any stage we can view, or anybody can view, the total amount of tasks completed in a day, the total amount of tasks set up, and so on. So with that being said, the first thing that I think is important to do is that when we log into Asana every morning, that there would be three things that you would look to. Number one is your list of my tasks, which I'm on right here at the moment. So I go my tasks, and this is my list. And this is sorted by due date, which the your manager should have set up for you already, be it on the sales side or operations side. It can obviously be sorted by other types, but I think due date is going to be best for us as a company, and it will default to this all the time once you set it. The second thing is that once we get used to Asana after a while, we can look in our inbox, and this will give us an idea of different notifications that people have left. And you can review them here rather than emails coming into you in your inbox all the time. You can review them here, and you can unfollow specific tasks you can like, and then you can actually click on the individual task through here as well. Can you? Take that back, you can't. So, but you can. Okay, thank God, yeah. So you can, so you just click on the individual task, and that task will come up, and then you can add to it, etc. from there. So with that being said, the last thing would also be, so I go back to my tasks, I think once we get used to it as well, that you can start reviewing your calendar, and that will give you an idea of what you've got going on. And obviously you get an email every morning updating you with what you have going on as well. But this calendar isn't Google Calendar, but it is an Asana calendar, which basically overviews all your tasks you have in Asana. With that being said, I'm just going to show you Teams. So Teams here is on the left-hand side, and I'm going to revert back to my tasks window while I do so. So for Teams, you're going to have specific teams, and you're going to be typically either on a sales team or on an operations team in Southern California, Northern California, or in Texas. On top of that, we have an accounts team, which currently will be for Bree, for Kathy, and myself. And then we have an owners team as well, as you can see, and we also have an operations management team here, which will actually be renamed to a management team that Shane and Billy and myself will be a part of, and potentially Sebastian in Texas as well. So they're the teams, and then within every team, you have specific projects. So let me show you this. So I'm going to show you Southern California. So within Southern California, these are some individual projects at the moment. To be clear, everyone's going to have two specific type of programs if you are a regional manager, and if you're an account manager, you're also going to have two specific type of projects. For both teams, everyone's going to have their individual to-call list. So as you can see, it's named here Julio to call. And I'm going to show you my to-call list just to give you an idea of how we're going to have this set up. So let me just find it here. Okay, critical. So within the to call list should typically be the name of the person and what you're going to speak to them about. This, for instance, will be an example of something which shouldn't be in the to call list. But as we can see here, I have specific items I want to speak to Niall about, to Tiffany about, to our people who are laying out our website, to Nick about, and so on. So I literally go colon, and I add in these points. And then as I speak to Billy about them, I will remove these points one by one. The second thing will be for regional managers, will be your individual program to-do list. And the plan here is to set up a template called school or district program setup. And within that is going to be a template of the 5 main things that you do, which are added as subtasks. So these are all subtasks here. They were added by clicking on this button. And this template can be copied for every individual school or specific districts that you're recruiting for. And as you complete the items, you can check off. But you can also add subtasks here continuously. So let's say that you want to speak to a specific regional manager about something to do with this. Let's say you were speaking to somebody, you wanted to speak to another regional manager about recruiting coaches which are close to your territory and to his or her territory. So, well, for that, actually, that would be under to call list. But let me just do this instead. I'm going to switch that around. So let's say that you figured out that a specific college that you haven't visited, you should visit, and you're going to plan to visit there tomorrow. So let's just call it Concordia College visit. I assign a due date, let's say for Friday. I make sure that I am assigned to it. And you're done. That's in there as well. Now, if you wanted to add a specific follower, you can add a follower to subtasks, much like you can to main tasks. So as you see, I clicked on that button, this popped this up. And if I go down here, let's see, so let me just see here. I can get rid of this. Okay, there we are. So this Google Hangouts thing was in the way, and I add my followers here. So let's say that I want to add Billy as a follower. I've now added Billy as a follower, so he can follow any updates or he can add comments. So then Billy might log in and he might have a comment specifically about Concordia if you were to add him. Okay, so the next thing is specifically for followers. It is important, I wouldn't be adding followers left and right to your projects, because if you add too many followers, it's going to create havoc. So add a specific follower only if you really feel that they need to be involved in knowing that you're completing that individual task or subtask, or if they might have a specific comment for that. Because every time you update this sub-event or subtask, Billy will get an update on it. So if you add in a comment, Billy's going to get that in his inbox. And you don't want to have Billy or Niall or Shane or whoever it might be flocked with thousands of emails. So just be careful with when you are adding followers. So with that being said, I'm going to go back. This is more for the sales side now. I'm going to go back here and look at your individual project that we have set up here, which is called Contract Setup. This here has individual tasks, which I'm most likely going to move into subtasks. I do have to figure that out, and we will confirm and get back to you. But these are the individual tasks, and Shane will go through them. And again, we might innovate or we might edit this, but that's what we have set up for right now. And you would just check them off as you go through them. So with that being said, for every individual team, we can also do individual team conversation, or not, we can do individual team conversations specifically for that team. So as you can see here, I can add in a team conversation for sales. And this replaces the need to add multiple people to a Skype message, all part of that team, or even on a text message. Or I know the sales guys will often do WhatsApp as well. So this is just a useful one that you can easily go back and you can view the content of it. So pretty useful. One point back to tasks here as well is that you can create repeat tasks. And these are generally going to be set up by the likes of, let me go here, I have it here, by the likes of the operations manager. But these repeat tasks are tasks that can happen, that will happen on a regular basis. So for instance, and I don't think you need to know the ins and outs of how these are set up, but let's just say that I add a task, which is on Fridays, you have to add the regional manager report. Then this is going to be set whereby every Friday this is going to be on a repeat. So that's automatically going to be there every week. So I would just simply note that that is going to happen. At the same time, we are also going to go through individual meetings that you guys are going to do every week, either with your specific manager or also with the likes of an account manager and an operations manager. So let me find this. So this is your AM and RM agenda. So these are specific items you're supposed to chat about every week. So rather than going to the scripts and going, okay, do we cover this? Do we cover this? For us as management or as owners, specifically Nick and myself, we want to make sure that this is done because we noticed holes last year when this wasn't done. So that means this RM and AM agenda is going to be set up for each account manager and regional manager, and you're both going to be tied into the exact same agenda. And these items would have to be checked off, and this would be a repeating agenda that would happen every Friday. So that's another side point. Let me go back here. We have been debating whether to have an individual to two task project. I think an individual to two project is going to be needed. Some of you aren't going to have specific to-do items, specifically, let's say, for regional managers to do with that recruiting or training or interviewing for that school, or that might be off the to-do list, or that might not be on your to-call list. So this is essentially the random, the miscellaneous. I, for instance, would definitely need one of these because I do tons of miscellaneous different things. So within this, I am going to show you one more thing, which I forgot to show you. So we've obviously, during the other video, we heard about hearts. We are not going to be using tags for right now. I don't see the need, but I think soon we will be. We can attach files, and attaching files is, again, replacing attaching files during an email. I think very, very useful. Let me see. Okay, so we've covered the templates, which is, again, the regional manager programs. For instance, this is now set up this was set up under Julio program. So this is the template. We've covered repeat tasks. So I will be copying this project. So it is important to know how to copy it. So you would simply copy project like that. Let me just get a copying for the tasks. Sorry, it's here. Sorry. No. Okay, I'll have to get back to you about copying tasks. I think it's just as simple as this, so let me just check this. Okay, I might have to get back to you about copying the subtasks for an individual task. That is going to be important. So I'll get back to you on that. With that being said, that is overall Asana. And there's a few other things you might have seen in the video, such as dependencies and custom fields. We will start using them at a certain stage. Dependencies was only a certain task can be completed once other tasks are completed, and custom fields might be adding in a priority and important importance of specific tasks such as high, medium, or low, and you can add other different custom fields. I think the main thing to be said for Asana is, and let me just check to make sure I've covered everything. Yeah, the main thing to be said for Asana is to innovate with it. We're all going to be using it. It's a very new program. So I would say keep innovating and letting your manager know of different innovations or useful ways that you come up with using the program. And I think over the next couple of weeks, things will change as we go about using the program. So I would expect a significant amount of changes until the start of September with different ways in which we're using it. And then after that, we should have the system pretty much down. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.